Hey, it's me, the Soy Pill. If for some reason you've used the internet recently, you may have come across an article from the Babylon Bee. The Babylon Bee is a satirical website whose basic premise is, what if The Onion was conservative and also not very funny? Now, to be fair, The Onion can be bad sometimes. Any comedy outlet that's forced to put out daily or very frequent content is going to drop in quality from time to time. But today, I want to look at what makes the Babylon Bee so uniquely, entertainingly bad. Not just its horrible, unfunny articles and political agenda, but also the circumstances of its creation, some of its employees, and the type of people that actually like it. The story of the Babylon Bee begins in 2016. Donald Trump hadn't quite broken the media's brain yet, and Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert were still actually funny, unlike now.
So let's find out the way the vaccine is changing the scene in our new recurring segment, The Vac Scene.
Meanwhile, conservatives had a dearth of comedic voices. Now, you can attribute this to a few things. Maybe it's because most Jews are Democrats. Maybe it's because conservative comedy can be cruel and punches down.
During this week's Miss Universe pageant in Mexico City, Miss USA Rachel Smith was booed by a mostly Mexican audience. Probably because for the pageant's talent competition, she built a 700-mile fence.
Or maybe it's because a lot of traditional conservatives are prudish, uptight, and despite calling everyone snowflakes, get extremely offended by a lot of things. It's hard to have comedic integrity when your glass house shatters because John Fetterman wore a hoodie, someone flipped off Donald Trump, or two cartoon characters kissed. Now, a man named Adam Ford recognized this power vacuum in the conservative comedy world, which led him to create his own satirical website, the titular Babylon Bee. Adam has since sold the Bee to the current CEO, Seth Dillon, who once said in an interview that Adam founded the website because there was this massive void on the right for comedy that wasn't cheesy. Please remember this quote as we look at all of the non-cheesy comedy from the Babylon Bee. But first, let's start off with the founder himself and look at some of his conservative comics. Here's a really funny one. This man is distraught with the state of the world, but then he picks up a Bible and reads a Bible phrase about trusting God and not being afraid. Finally, he smiles. Sometimes, his comics even have jokes. If women tell you that your opinion doesn't matter on abortion because of your gender, just respond with, "Did you just assume my gender?"
Liberals, BTFO. Left-wing destroyed.
You know how conservative women are often stereotyped as weak and submissive? Well, Adam Ford is here to dispel that myth. See, it doesn't mean that men are the superior sex or that women have to do whatever their man says. The woman in this comic clearly states, he and I are equals. We work together as a team, and if it comes down to it, he gets the final say. Okay, that kind of sounds like you have to do whatever your husband says if there's a disagreement. These are among many other comics on his website with lots of fun topics, like trying to prove the existence of Jesus, or many iterations of the classic, make opposing political party say something crazy and strawman-y while my political avatar remains calm. Now that we understand the comedic mind that would create the Babylon Bee and his goals, let's dive into the content. The Bee, like The Onion, is a satirical site, but what does that mean? Well, satire is using humor like absurdity, irony, or exaggeration to highlight an issue or problem that one perceives in the real world. One of the most famous examples is Jonathan Swift's essay, A Modest Proposal. In it, he mockingly suggests that the poor should start eating their own children in order to keep from starving and relieve their economic burden. One can laugh at the absurdity of eating children while also seeing how this cruel and barbaric practice very closely resembles the real suggestions that the rich made to the poor in Ireland. At the time, aristocrats suggested keeping wages low because high wages would make the poor lazy, or that no child was too young to start working. Good satire highlights the problem by exaggerating it. It should make you laugh and make you think. The Bee also follows the Onion model in that the headline might as well be the whole article. Sure, someone put in the time to write actual paragraphs of words that you could read, but the satirical point and what you share with your friends is almost always that sweet, concise, snippy headline that gives you a chuckle. To quote a famous writer, the joke is in the headline. That's where it all starts. If the headline doesn't land with a funny punchline, then nobody laughs. And if nobody laughs, nobody shares. True words spoken by Seth Dillon, CEO of the Babylon Bee. Oh no! In the months since my last video, I've read hundreds of Babylon Bee headlines so that you don't have to. And through my masochistic research, I found that most of the articles fall into one of the following categories. The first and most common is too obvious to be satire. One thing you'll realize when watching tons of conservative comedy is that they're incapable of being subtle. They cannot help themselves. The first Bee article we'll look at is titled, Democrats Introduce the Raise Gas Prices Even Higher and Make More Kids Trans Bill. This reads a lot less like satire and more like the thing that your uncle says and chuckles about at the neighborhood barbecue. Hey, how about those Democrats, Dave? When are they gonna pass the Kill the Economy law? Yeah, that's right. What's next? The Make Everyone Gay bill? It's not making me think, it's not making me laugh, it just doesn't work because it's verbatim what the Republicans think is happening. Now, against my better judgment, I'm gonna try to workshop a couple of these headlines to be better satire, and pray to God that I don't accidentally get hired at the Bee. Sorry if they suck, but it's like an itch I have to scratch. Feel free to tell me how much worse mine are in the comments. How about Senate Democrats reconsider plan to raise gas prices after visit to gas station? It makes the same dumb point that they were trying to make about Democrats raising gas prices on purpose, but also adds a much needed layer of absurdity and shows that the Democrats are out of touch. Here's another article titled, DOJ Finds No Evidence of Bribery in Photo of Biden Holding a Sign Reading, We'll Trade Political Favors for Cash. Haha, get it? Cause like, his sign says that he's corrupt, but they said he wasn't. Yeah, they really just can't help but be as blatant as possible when they easily could have written something like, we have found no evidence of Biden bribery, announces Merrick Garland's brand new staff of servants. Even the children's Batman show did this joke better.
How do you respond to charges that Joker is simply bribing his way to freedom?
I won't even dignify that with a response.
This next article really bothered me because I thought it had some potential. Report. Despite attempts to add more genders, there still seem to be just 2 plus 767 mental disorders. See, here they could have worked in some clever absurdity, like scientists began gender collision experiments in the Hadron Collider in hopes of creating new genders. But instead they just went with the cheap shot of, there are only 2 genders, everything else is a mental disorder.
Lame, 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 lame!
Okay, how about Satan asks LGBT people to tone it down? This article is essentially saying, hey, gay people, you're all degenerates. You're worse than Satan. There's no joke, there's no clever twist. It's just their unfiltered view on gay people. And you can claim that I'm shitting on these because of my views, and that I hate this article because I'm offended and a big fucking faggot who sucks dick. But shitty, unsubtle humor is bad no matter what. I really want to drive home that point. I don't hate these because I disagree with them. I hate them because they're terrible and written by a 3-year-old. Speaking of children, remember when you were a young child on the playground and the extent of your insults were essentially just different lame ways of calling some other kid stupid? Now imagine if those children stopped developing at that age and then grew up to become Babylon Bee writers. The next category of article is person/politician that I don't like is stupid. AI Sar Harris announces that she has figured out what AI stands for. The joke is that Kamala Harris is stupid because she doesn't get this very simple thing. Oral arguments postponed as Justice Sotomayor gets gavel stuck up her nose again. Because Sotomayor, she's dumb, and that's not where the hammer goes. It's to bang on the table. AOC's rant against capitalism undercut by her having Pringles canisters stuck on each hand. Yeah, you stupid fucking socialist. Can't even eat a Pringle. The most insulting part of these articles is that there are reasons that they think that these people are stupid. These politicians say stupid things that you can satirize. You can write a joke about the words that come out of their mouth. You can satirize the things that they say. Calling someone stupid isn't a joke. It's not clever. It's just you saying that they're stupid. These types of articles are so lame and easy that they literally have a tool that writes the articles for them called the AOC article generator. Every time you refresh the page, it just invents a new way of calling AOC stupid. Massive void for comedy that wasn't cheesy. The next category is wife bad / boomer humor. When they're not crashing the economy or depleting the ozone layer, boomers like to complain about their wives. The old ball and chain. Hey Bill, gonna watch the game this weekend? Maybe, if my fucking bitch wife has a heart attack and fucking dies. You might be asking yourself, how in the world do you combine boomer humor with political satire? How could you relate being a deadbeat, lazy dad and husband with anything politically humorous? Answer, you can't. Here's what you get. Ha ha, my wife can't drive. Ha ha, my wife can't drive. Ha ha, my wife cannot open the pickle jar. Ha ha, my wife is bad at video games. Ha ha, my wife won't shut up during movies. Ha ha, my wife gets mad and emotional when I tell her to calm down. Ha ha, my wife isn't funny and I have to pretend to like her sense of humor. Ha ha, my wife has too many shower bottles. Ha ha, I don't know about my child's life. Ha ha, I cannot cook. Not a single one of these has an ounce of cleverness in it at all. The entire joke is just, wife bad, I am big dumb man. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I see one of these articles almost every week. Hey, for no particular reason at all, can we take a peek at women's voting patterns in the United States? The next category of article is lame religious crap. Not too much to say here other than there are a fair amount of articles whose jokes are, wow, we sure are religious, and being religious is good. Atheists wait at table for Thanksgiving meal to evolve from nothing, as opposed to Christian families who pray to God and have Thanksgiving dinner magically appear on the table. Report, go to church, you heathen. It's an article telling you to go to church. The joke is that you're not in church right now, you're reading an article. Go to church. The next category is actually funny. I'd be intellectually dishonest if I didn't mention that some of these articles actually made me chuckle. I don't want to be accused of being a partisan hack, even though I am one, so here's the ones I thought were funny. This video is about shitting on the Babylon Bee, so you can just pause and read the headlines yourself. Let me know in the comments if I succumb to conservative brain rot, and these are all lame. The final category is, I don't even know what they're trying to do here. What is this? Every once in a while, you'll get an article that makes you go, huh? What? Maybe there's some context I'm missing for these, but I'm terminally online, so I think that these are maybe just mad-libbed, like that AOC article generator. This one says, Trump gets completely stoned in lively 3-hour interview with Joe Rogan. Is the joke that it would be funny if Trump got stoned because people smoke on the Joe Rogan show? I don't know. In this one, wife catches conservative husband hiding in closet eating avocado toast. I guess eating avocado toast is like being gay or something? San Francisco now so bad that passing ruffians say knee at will to old ladies, and even those who arrange and sell shrubberies are under considerable economic stress. Like, I get the reference, I know Monty Python, but I don't get it. First-time father buys M1 Abrams tank to safely drive newborn home from hospital. Yeah, I guess this has something to do with fathers being overly protective of their babies? So yeah, if you guys know what's going on here, please explain what the fuck is going on in the comments. Sometimes, the Babylon Bee ambitiously dumps even more money into their unfunny articles and turns them into sketch comedy videos. I know this is hard to imagine, but it's like if SNL was way worse. They're everything you would expect. Bad acting, cringy comedic timing, and a fundamental lack of understanding of the issues that they're supposed to be making fun of. My lawyer says that if I show you more than 3 of these, I'll be violating General Assembly Resolution 39 of the Geneva Convention. Our first skit is a fake Chinese military training video about how to beat American soldiers.
As you know, our worst enemy is the United States of America. Traditional warfare techniques are not effective against their formidable forces. Luckily, we have found their weakness: misgendering.
Right off the bat, the conservative can't help myself unsubtle brain creeps in and ruins the setup. They can't just make fun of the woke military. Since they mentioned China, they also have to mention that Biden is owned by China, and therefore he's helping them by providing soldiers for demonstration.
Our beautiful friend President Joseph Robinette Biden was nice enough to loan us some American soldier for this demonstration.
But if Biden is owned by China, then why would the Chinese need to defeat American soldiers? They already control the American leader. Just leave that part out, you fucking moron. And you see, since the American military is woke now, all you have to do is misgender them.
He, him. He, him. You are he, him. You are he, him. I can see clearly. You are bearded man. He, him.
Oh no, don't misgender me. Pronouns are scary when they're wrong. Oh no, my AR trans teen is jammed. My MTF 35 can't take off anymore. Oh. Did you think any of that was funny? Well, I hope so, because it keeps going for 3 minutes.
Hey, dude. What's up, bro? What's up, my man?
Dude, bro, man. Ah!
Something I found funny is that usually on YouTube videos, the most replayed section of YouTube lights up where the funny joke is. And here's what that looks like on this video. Here's a skit about an alien who arrives on Earth and professes his ideas of utopia. Now, this one's not so lazy that it's just a character saying something that triggers the libs, and then the libs are triggered. Oh no, wait, it's literally the exact same joke.
All lives matter.
What'd you say?
Are you out of your mind?
I'm lost. Why has this upset you?
All lives don't matter. Some lives matter some of the time.
Like, Jesus Christ, guys, the problem that people have with the phrase is that it's like saying all diseases matter while you're in a cancer clinic. Yeah, it's true, but I'm trying to cure this man's cancer right now, and my nurse can't hear my instructions because you won't shut the fuck up. This last video is so close to being self-aware. It's called The Only Times Men Are Allowed to Cry. It's playing on the trope that conservative men are all stoic and toxically masculine and aren't allowed to cry because it would seem gay or girly. But the video just gives examples of times where men are allowed to cry.
When your son asks you if you can read him The Hobbit, when the Terminator is slowly lowered into the molten steel and gives one final thumbs up. When Carrie Underwood sings the national anthem, you can cry. Ha! That was a test, and if you cry during The Notebook, you are gay!
So it doesn't really work because, one, there aren't any good jokes, and two, this is just what conservatives actually believe. Like, if a liberal person made this, it would still suck, but I would get that they're making fun of conservatives and that weird doublethink thing they do where men crying is gay, but then they'll go to the Saving Private Ryan Normandy scene and comment, "This is where real men cried." I don't know, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe this is conservatives moving away from this weird, insecure, self-conscious masculine mindset where they have to justify every sliver of emotionality and then mask it up with trucks and guns, and they pretend to like smoking cigars because they think it makes them look cool and manly. What's this ad at the end of the video?
What's better than lighting up that one perfect cigar? How about lighting up 10? Grab this exclusive 10 cigar hand-rolled premium sampler loaded with some of the best smokes on the planet, and you'll be happily lighting up some of the best cigars this holiday season.
I don't really want to do full profiles on every Babylon Bee employee, but it is worth taking a peek into their personalities. I think one of the most depressing things about Seth Dillon is that he's not some crazy radical who says ridiculous conservative things. Like, sure, he hates trans people and gay people and the like, but the worst thing about the head of the Babylon Bee is that he's just really banal. I tried watching this almost hour-long interview with Seth and Elon Musk to see if I could lampoon any of their bad jokes or mishaps, but I was just really bored the entire time. Seth couldn't even accidentally make me laugh. And the same goes for Kyle Mann, the editor-in-chief. He's just your run-of-the-mill conservative plus a thick, slimy layer of really, really boring. If you want any indication of how vapid and uninteresting he is, he not only likes sports, he likes the most boring sport. At least he recognizes that sometimes Christians can be cringe when they post their lame Jesus crap all the time. I do appreciate when conservatives can be a little self-aware. I looked through so many tweets and interviews, but I found almost nothing worth showing that wasn't already done funnier or more extreme by Ben Shapiro or Alex Jones. I think the most notable thing about Seth is that he started off as a fan of the website when Adam Ford was running it.
I started out as a fan of the Bee. I thought it was hilarious.
Really consider deep down what it means that the man who is currently running the Babylon Bee purchased it because he thought Adam Ford was hilarious. Speaking of fans of the Babylon Bee, let's take a look at the people who actually enjoy it. If I told you that Elon Musk was a huge fan, that should tell you just about everything you need to know. He described the Babylon Bee as savage. Tucker Carlson said they're the funniest site on the internet. But if we really want to get into the core audience, we need to go into the comments section. Ooh. Here you'll find boomers, weird religious nuts, and especially people who have no sense of subtlety. Remember earlier when we looked at all of those too obvious articles? This mentality is frequently parroted by the B's audience as the most common comment that you will find on any article is something along the lines of, "When did the B stop writing satire?" This is because the B doesn't really write satire, they just say what conservatives are thinking. Seth Dillon even has something called Not the B, where they write the same things that they would in the B, except they don't pretend like it's supposed to be funny. This isn't satire. Too believable to be satire. Not satire. True. This is not satire. Too true to be funny. This is a Not the B story. This is 100% true for me. This is not a joke. It's factual. This is not satire. It is spot on 100. There you go. Thought this was a parody site. This really should be on Not the B. It may be the B, but so much truth. Can't tell if this is parody. When did you give up satire? Of course, this is actually not satire.
Say a special prayer for our brave men and women in the FBI as they face the daunting task of wiping out Christians and Jews in the service of their global elite masters like the WEF, the WHO, and the CCP, not to mention the Bank of International Settlements.
So after looking through all of that, you might be asking yourself, how does this happen? How did the Babylon Bee explode in popularity, getting more internet traffic than The Onion? How do their articles, as lame and unfunny as they are, get so many likes and shares? Well, as far as I can tell, there's no conspiracy or crazy astroturfed campaign to pump up their numbers. It just comes down to a simple truth. Most conservatives have a terrible sense of humor.
Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
And the Babylon Bee found a way to turn that terrible sense of humor into 15 terrible articles a day. And as much as I hate them for shoving these terrible jokes into my feed every day, I respect the hustle. The writers know their audience, and the audience slurps up that slop like it's the last day of the McRib. It's really just a shame. There are plenty of people I disagree with politically that have great humor. Sam Hyde, the South Park guys, even Donald Trump. And there's still a void to be filled for a right-wing satire site that's actually funny. The Babylon Bee is just not the answer. And if the right deserves anything, it's better humor. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like if you did, subscribe if you want more, and leave a comment if there's a topic you want to see me cover. Or you've noticed that I say woman and woman the same.